This is GamerLegion. Isaac, don't doubt him. He never gets tilted, never desperate for frags. And he doesn't just play for stats, he plays for the team. He's delivering in his role, and now he's gone into a semi-final at a major. Imma, the most exciting prospect coming out of the major. He's put up numbers that go beyond the best players in the world. He has been set up for success and delivered on the biggest stage of his career. Shuhei, nurtured in the Academy League, he was destined to be next. He got a taste for what the championship mentality requires, and it was instilled in him. Now he must go pound for pound and round for round with one of the greats that could seal his fate. Acor, reaching his peak major performance and going deeper than ever before. The senior of the roster has stayed precise, even in the most chaotic matches. Here, he will have to do it with all of the opportunity given to him, but he cannot miss. Kios, with the crowd on his side and a smile on his face. He has never felt so good. He has never looked so good, putting up his best numbers on LAN since 2019. Home field advantage or just a hype-up lad with a dream? Either way, Kios has been unleashed in Paris. Let me hear it for GamerLegion! This is heroic, and they don't care about your boos. Yabi, less than 1 year on the team, he's elevated and developed his skills far beyond the flames, fitting into a core team that has always got his back, knowing that he can trust and believe in the heroic way. Shush, in a similar fashion, this addition to the core has excelled and opened up, being anything but mad from a lion to a hero. He offers up the greatest support whenever they call for him. Cadian, the journeyman, the hero of his own story. He wears his heart on his sleeve and gives everything to his team, everything to this game. He is the leader that always brings out the best in his players, but you better be ready to work for it. Stown, taken to the stage in Paris, he's shown that he's ready to deliver his best ever major performance. He understands what awaits him, and he understands what he can do for his team. Now is the time for him to be the real frag star. Tesses, the final core member of this epic roster. He has never backed down from a challenge. He has answered Cadian's calls, always with no fear in his eyes. And as long as he believes, you better apprehend that there's still hope. Make some noise for Heroic! Heroic's story is one that many teams envy, but they still want to lift that major trophy. And for them, they have not fallen to an underdog just yet. But could it now be the time? These games have been tough for many of the teams. These games have shown us that the experience only matters on the day. Exist, Ash, they're joining me on the stage. And Ash, this is your toughest challenge yet by far. How did you get the guys ready for this? How did you prepare for this kind of a game?
Parlez-vous français?
Uh-oh. No, you're English, mate. You can talk to me. Yeah.
Well, I guess these guys are probably the hardest team out of anyone we've ever prepared for it. So I think it's kind of testament the way they play that they're clearly really good at what they do. And it's going to be a tough one for sure.
And how do you plan to get under their skin? How do you plan to throw them off? They don't get upset, it seems.
Well, we'll give it our best. We've got our own game plan. We'll just try to stick to it, and hopefully it's enough.
And how proud are you just of your team so far, to be on this stage, to be so many inexperienced players who've been able to deliver in such a big way?
Oh, I'm unbelievably proud. It's just amazing the things we've done. We believe in ourselves, and hopefully this isn't the end of the road for us, and we just want to keep going. One game at a time, we're going to give it everything we've got.
That's what it's all about. Now, Exist, underdogs have had a lot of success so far at this major, but you guys, you've not fallen to them. You've done very well when it comes to it. Why is it for Heroic that you can do that?
Well, I mean, I think like this like Tier 1 CS, you need to be very careful with that. I think there's only a few Tier 1 teams, a few elite teams out there right now. So, but I mean, GamerLegion and Apex, for example, they're two good, they're really good teams, and they're on an upswing lately. So looking forward to it.
And when you've been preparing for GamerLegion, what have you noticed that's different to some of the elite teams you're usually facing?
I mean, that's the thing. We don't really prepare any different from if we would play like Navi or FaZe, right? It's still a very good team, and we do as we normally do, and that's it.
But is there much difference in GamerLegion compared to the other best teams you normally face?
I would say like the biggest difference is that we're not used to playing them that much. If we play like FaZe, we already have a game plan, right?
Yeah.
Now it requires, maybe we need to watch a little bit extra, you know, because we don't play them on a regular basis. But I would say like in-game stuff, it's mostly the same. I'd say most teams play very similarly.
Okay, well, let's see how it goes. Guys, shake hands, take your position. It's time for our opening semi-final matchup. Exist seems to think he has the answers. They seem to think they've got the plan. But GamerLegion, they've been doing it time and time again, and they certainly have this crowd on their side. Guys, one last time before we go into this game, make some noise!
David versus Goliath, the Titans versus the underdog. But turns out the French connection of Kios Jacob makes him the only hero in this arena. Beautiful scenes in that.